As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
But you talk about the impact of American chattel slavery. 339 years of folks who got unpaid labor. And what separation, right, that created, what divide that created. But really 339 years and we're still here with no help. We are a miracle.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We are a miracle. Because I think what people don't understand is that how American chattel slavery differed from other forms of slavery that preceded it. So if you think about, and this is the kind of pushback you get when you talk about slavery. Well, I wasn't there. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And that was, look at how long ago that was, And they cannot seem to connect the dots on that. But what made it unique from any other form of enslavement was the manner in which a person became enslaved, the length of servitude, the treatment of the enslaved, and how they were perceived as human beings. Before the European slave trade began, most people who became enslaved became so as a result of war. Two societies went to war, winners enslaved the losers, so on and so forth. But Europeans systematically turned the capturing, shipping, and breeding of other human beings into a business that would become the backbone of an entire economy.
Yeah.
You see, that's different. And it was situated around a belief in our intrinsic dehumanization, our lack of humanness. We were not perceived as full humans. And therefore, because we were not full humans, we didn't have to be treated like humans. And while that, you may say, well, that was alone, that was so ignorant. I believe it was over 222 medical students. This was a study that was done in 2016 that still believed that black people didn't feel pain on the level of white people.
Right.
Okay, so we're looking at those beliefs that have matriculated into contemporary society. The other myth is that slavery ended and the playing field got leveled, right? Everything was okay. And that's just not true, because after slavery came the multitude of lynchings, all the way up through George Floyd, Breonna. It goes all the way. When did the actual injury and assault stop? Malcolm X said, if you stick a knife 9 inches into my back and you pull it out 3, that's not progress. Even if you pull the knife all the way out, that's not progress. Progress is healing the wound, and America hasn't pulled out the knife. That's where we are.
And you talk about America not pulling out the knife because America doesn't really want to own up to the truth of how inhumane slavery and American chattel slavery really was.
Well, again, that is a door that no one wants to open because it creates cognitive dissonance.
I want to keep going. As a matter of fact, let Joy just, because she was about to get into cognitive dissonance. Let's just let her finish cooking.
Simultaneously holding contradictory ideas, beliefs, habits. I often tell people I was in Portland, and in Portland, Oregon. God help me. When I was in Portland, you could, if you cough, somebody's going to offer you a herb, tell you how much echinacea you should have, and they say it's a place where nice clothes go to die, because people wear socks with Birkenstocks. Yeah. I wish it weren't true, but yeah, it is. And these are the same people. If you ask, well, I'm vegan. Okay, good. Yeah, it's wonderful. I jog at least 3 to 5 miles a day. Okay. I also smoke crack on the weekend. Now, you see, this would then be a contradiction. And what they do to deal with the dissonance associated with that is you do all those other things.
Yeah.
That's why I needed her to finish that thought. Because we get caught up in all types of distractions, excursions, stimulations, right? In order to not really see ourselves for what we are. What do you mean, Zoe? Well, let me just say, I've already broken down over the past 3 years the purpose of relationships. What is it? The purpose of relationships is to be triggered. Whatever triggers you, whatever, comes up from your subconscious is yours to claim without judgment, so that you can heal, right? Or begin the healing process. Or, as we talked about yesterday, individuate, right? Carl Jung is cited as, the person who came up with individuation, but that's not entirely true. We know that there are ancient spiritual practices that resemble individuation. So why is it that our relationships, our outlook today, like if I sit down and talk to people and listen to them, and I do it all the time, all over the country, everybody is about doing more so than being. And it's kind of what she talked about, Dr. Joy DeGruy, when she talked about cognitive dissonance. All these things to do. Like we talked about in previous shows, right? We talked about yoga. And I said, if you get really, really deep into yoga, right? Seriously, not just the stretching part. I'm talking about the spiritual practice of yoga. The word yoga comes from the Sanskrit word, and it means union, right? Union. Union with what? Oh, source, God. This is why, there have been legends told. Oh, wow, this particular guru left his body and never came back. Oh, this particular guru, you see, Paramahansa Yogananda, Babaji, Maha Avatar, right? All of these powerful mystical experiences around yoga, because yoga gets you out of the pattern that created your identity, out of your ego. Right? Out of your small self and into your larger, expansive self. Okay? Christians would say God is the big G and you are the little g. Well, there are spiritual practices on planet Earth that can get you out of the little g and into the big G, which is within you. And so we've mishandled intimate relationships because they are now glorified amusement parks. If we're not amused, if we're not stimulated, if we're not distracted from the process of individuation, from the process of healing, deconstructing and releasing ourselves from the pattern that made us who we think we are, right? We're not really relating. As I said yesterday, individuation is the first consummation, right? If you do not meld, mold, blend, incorporate your shadow with your mask, that's the most important relationship ever, right? The relationship with oneself. If you don't start that process and continue on that process, then how can you relate to others? How can your relationships avoid entropy, relational obsolescence? So that leads us to tonight's topic, which is centered on a concept that Dr. Joy DeGruy created. And it's called vacant esteem. Tonight's topic, the empty self tank. Vacant esteem versus the worthiness wound. Attachment patterns are not mere relational quirks. They are living plantations where generational trauma harvests worthiness. Anxious, preoccupied partners become emotional sharecroppers, toiling for validation they've been conditioned to reject. Their dopamine pathways paying tribute to internal overseers. Avoidance replicates slave patrol neurology. The prefrontal cortex policing vulnerability as ruthlessly as colonial regimes. Disorganized attachment mirrors auction block rupture. Bodies frozen in bitter's limbo. Heirs to ancestral terror of connection as capture. Vacant esteem, the psychic currency of post-traumatic slave syndrome, enforces this bondage. Neural pathways calcify into spiritual debt, compounding interest across centuries. Quantum biology suggests these patterns entangle with ancestral fugidity. In other words, being a fugitive. An ancestral fugitive? What? Is that even possible? They was running, so now you're running to deadness. Okay. Each protest behavior, a somatic revolt against epigenetic overseers. Liberation demands burning the plantation to the ground. We just saw a plantation burn to the ground in New Orleans, right? But these are psychological plantations. Somatic insurrections need to happen in order to rewrite synaptic ledgers, transmuting Stockholm synapses into neural maroon colonies. Secure attachment becomes heresy, a refusal to pay freedom taxes to historical auctioneers. This is frightening to me because I see attachment wounds. I see attachment styles, and I'm talking about the insecure ones, as a type of psychological plantation. A psychological plantation Think about it. A plantation is a container. So is an insecure attachment style. And once you merge it into your sense of self, it becomes who you are. The worst thing we could do is if we go to a therapist and they tell us, oh, you're dismissive avoidant. Oh, you're anxious preoccupied. Oh, you're disorganized or fearful avoidant. I think the worst thing we could do is claim it. Right? These are not astrology signs. Right? I'm a Scorpio and a dismissive avoidant. No, these are not things we should claim. Titles we should claim. You wouldn't claim being an ex-slave, would you? We have to break free of these patterns. We are on an entirely different type of plantation now. If you look at the book that Dr. Marielle Bouquet wrote, Break the Cycle, A Guide to Healing Intergenerational Trauma, an amazing book, okay? But if you read that book is really about setting yourself free. But it also, in great detail, explains a lot of the things we've been through. Just like Dr. Joy DeGruy, her post-traumatic slave syndrome explains what we carry in our genes. So relationships already are going to be tough. Why? Because you're born to works in progress. Your parents are not perfect. Your parents have issues. But imagine, on top of their issues, generational curses that need to be broken. Do you see? Stockholm synapses, how your brain pays chemical tribute to emotional overseers, right? Dopamine reward pathways, reinforcing loyalty to abusive partners. Were we not loyal to slave masters who, under paternalism, played like fathers, but abused us like monsters? Is that not still in the gene? Could that be a source of our coping mechanisms? I'm just asking. Could it be a source of the ones we choose? Lord have mercy. Could it be a source of our version of Patrick Carnes' trauma bonding? When we come forward, the voice of reason is in no mood to play with you tonight. We gon' cook!
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say. Let's do this.
Let's get it on! On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There'll be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
We love you. Love you.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I got a right to be hostile, man. My people been persecuted.
With vice, I hold the mic device. With force, I keep it away, of course. And I'm keeping you from sleeping. And on the stage, I rage and I'm rolling. And to the poor, I pour it on the metaphors. I'm not bluffing, there's nothing that we ain't did before. We played the stage, the points made, you consider it done by the prophets of rage. All the people say,
Yo, Grip, you and S1W, get to the east side. We got to kick it for the east side, G.
I roll with the punches so I survive. Try to rock cause it keeps the crowd alive. I'm not bowling, I'm just calling. But I'm past the days of yes, y'allin'. I wiggle round, around, I pump, you jump up. Hear my words, my verbs, and get juiced up. I've been around a while, you can't describe my sound. Clear the way for the prophets of rage. All the people say,
Hey, yo, Grip, we got to get to my man Ralph in the south. Let's kick it to the south side, G.
I ring your bell, can you tell I got feeling? It's just peace at least cause I want it. I want it so bad that I'm starving. I'm like Garvey.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to this video on developing self-esteem in kids. I'm your host, Dr. Dawnalise Snipes. I've had a lot of requests for videos on things that parents can do to help increase self-esteem in children. And we're going to talk a lot about those. And these can be helpful for caregivers as well as teachers. Now, there are a lot of books out there that have different self-esteem building activities like ropes courses and those sorts of things. What I'm really talking about here today are some other practical things to know about building self-esteem in children. So I'm going to start by describing the 4 components of self-esteem, explore why secure attachment is important in nurturing self-esteem, identify 5 general things that caregivers can do to enhance self-esteem, and at least 10 activities that caregivers can do to build self-esteem in children. So let's start out with the components. Self-esteem, as I conceptualize it, is composed of self-awareness. Who am I? What are my strengths, my weaknesses, my needs, thoughts, feelings? What's my identity? When I think of me, what do I see? Self-acceptance. Once you know who you are, your strengths, weaknesses, and needs, then accepting that and accepting yourself as lovable and valuable, even though you're imperfect. And that is such an important message for people, not just kids, for people to internalize. Third part is self-confidence. I know who I am. I know my strengths and weaknesses, and I accept them. I recognize that I'm lovable, and I'm confident that I can effectively manage challenges in my life, achieve my goals.
Listen, black folk, we need all of these courses. We need the self-marriage course, where we individuate, or at least start the process before we try to get married. Right? We need the self-esteem course. Right? Wait, why, Zoe? I got 2 parents and everything was perfect. Let me give you the definition of Dr. Joy DeGruy's vacant esteem. Vacant esteem is a term used to describe insufficient development of primary esteem, along with feelings of hopelessness, depression, and a general self-destructive outlook. It is also used to describe appearing emotionally numb. According to Dr. DeGruy, vacant esteem is caused by society putting black people in a place of inferiority that results in their lack of self-worth. This is different from low self-esteem because it is collective in context, so black people can think others in their racial group lack value as well. The reason why this is important: black folk been under the microscope ever since we got here, under pressure. You've got slavery, the abuse from it, in your DNA, right? Many of us don't have to go too far back to find a boomer, and a boomer doesn't have to go too far back to find someone who was just out of slavery or in slavery. Do you see? Our relationships have become transactional because what is valuable to us is not authored by us, right? I'm sorry. Meaning, we don't author our own meaning for the most part. This is tough. So relationships become the escape room now. It's relationship. Let me escape to a relationship so I don't have to unpack or deal with any of the stuff that's going on internally. Do you see? I keep telling you, relationship is the university of you, where you discover you so that you can reconcile you. Yes, you have the power to do it. When we come forward, I'm going to unpack this even further. We've got questions. We've got a whole bunch of things I want to cover. So stay tuned. Get ready. When we come forward, more from the VOR.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The first black mayor of Tulsa, Oklahoma is proposing a reparations plan for descendants of the 1921 race massacre. Mayor Monroe Nichols wants a private trust to fund housing and scholarships, no direct cash.
The Greenwood Trust will raise and facilitate the investment of $105 million in private funds along our road to repair, restoration, and right.
The City Council must approve any asset transfers. Washington, D.C. has unveiled Mamie Peanut Johnson Plaza, honoring one of just 3 women to play in the Negro Leagues. The 5'3" pitcher had a 33-8 record in the 1950s. Johnson, who died in 2017, is now memorialized in the city she called home. And Wall Street opens higher today after a strong Monday start to June. Investors shrugged off trade tensions and steel stocks soared after President Trump announced 50% tariffs. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Pan comido or a piece of cake, no matter how you say it, you save at cheapoair.com/ES. The deals are fully translated in Spanish, so all you've got to do is scroll and save with deals on up to 500 airlines worldwide. cheapoair.com/ES.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready?
Drop it! Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. For this free information, call 800-433-8909. 800-433-8909. That's 800-433-8909. Or simply visit godra.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Casualties of war. Casualties of war.
as I approach the barricade. Where's the enemy? Who do I invade? Bullets of Teflon, bulletproof vest grip. Tear you out of your frame with a bag full of clips. Cause I got a family to wait for my return. To get back home is my main concern. I'ma get back to New York in one piece. But I'm better than sand that is hot as the city streets. Sky lights up like fireworks blind me. Bullets whistling over my head remind me. President Bush said attack. Flashback to numb, I might not make it back. Missile hits the area, screams. Wake me up from a war of dreams. Heat up the M16. Basic training, train for torture. Take no prisoners, and I just caught you. Addicted to murder. Send more body bags. They can't identify them, leave the names at. I get a brush when I see blood, dead bodies on the floor. Casualties of war. Casualties of war. Casualties of war. Casualties of war.
He said, let me tell you the thing that I didn't want to say to you. He said, what you're proposing to do to your son is what slave masters did to slaves. Then he said, listen, the toughest thing you have against your son, the strongest thing you have against your son is disappointment. He said, if you're in your son's life every day and his world will revolve around you, and if you move yourself out of his orbit, he won't know how to exist. And he'll do anything to get you back in his orbit so his life can stabilize. He said, you don't have to hit him. You just have to back up. Back up a safe distance where he can see you, but he knows that you're out of distance. And that distance will create a pain in his chest that is bigger than any pain you can ever inflict on him. And I said, man, it kind of sound like some old white people stuff. And y'all move different than us. He said, let me tell you the thing that I didn't want to say to you. He said,
man, are you currently trying to make quota on a dopamine plantation? You know, we had to make quota every day picking cotton. Are you trying to make a dopamine quota? Huh? You on a dopamine plantation? You trying to make quota? While your love addiction feels like capitalism's machinery. Anxious attachment as internalized consumerism. Relationships as extractive resource harvesting. What? Yeah. Spiritual sharecropping. How ancestral survival tactics sabotage your chakras. See, I keep telling y'all, and I'm going to keep saying it, relationships are inherently spiritual. When you have sex, the woman is opening up her spirit to you. The man is downloading his spirit into her. Whatever chaos is in you, you guys are passing it back and forth. You've heard us say it before. Spiritually transmitted diseases. Patrick Carnes just called it trauma bonding. Do you understand? We are an abused people. And just because, like Dr. Joy DeGruy alluded to earlier, just because it was 150 years ago. Nobody was alive that was alive back then. Listen, because of epigenetics, we understand things are being passed down. Epigenetics is just a fancy word for what the church calls soul ties. Right? Intergenerational trauma. Generational curses. Big Mama and them would say it this way. Oh, he got it honest. When that child start acting like that wayward daddy, oh, he got it honest. See, we have to stop using relationship, right, as this somatic fun house. You see, we go there for fun. We go there to escape. We go there for stimulation. But really, we should go there for worship. Because the scriptures of ourselves are being revealed to us in the temple of relating. I know you don't want to hear it put that way. Right? I know. You live in a society where all the rules have been written by them. The rules of success, the rules of love, the rules of marriage, all of it has been written by the people who descend from the people who saw your people as furniture, as tools, as a plow, a human plow. That's in your DNA. Do you see? This is why 50 can make a record, an album called Get Rich or Die Trying. This is why 50 can say, go get the money. The women come with the money. Is that not a new form of chattel slavery? By saying, if I'm rich, I can buy the baddest bee. See, y'all want to play tonight. I don't feel like playing. Right? I don't feel like playing tonight. We're going to have a real conversation. Let's have a real conversation. You're a slave on a dopamine plantation. All your listen to what people are saying today. Oh, I got to live the soft life. Oh, everything got to be easy. You've been conditioned to spiritually bypass. You've been conditioned to swallow toxic positivity. You can't make individuation easy. You can't make the dark night of the soul easy. You can't make climbing Jacob's ladder, the 33 steps of Jacob's ladder. You can't make that easy. Spiritual work is arduous. Individuation is not easy. Accepting one's shadow is a very difficult process. And Dr. Joy DeGruy gave us a word, gave us a term, vacant esteem. When you're in the crosshairs of a society that was never comfortable with you experiencing the freedom they experience. What do you think that's going to do to your intimate relationships? And then look at us. We will take spiritual terms, we will take psychological words, and we'll throw them around, not really knowing the severity of what they mean, the depth of what they mean, the breadth of what they mean, not really knowing how to apply, right? Because remember, the words are just a map. It's not the territory of doing. It's not the territory of experiencing. We'll talk like we've done it. Do you see? The reality of it is, if you're not doing this type of work internally, it's going to be very hard, difficult to not only relate to oneself, but to relate to others. Do you see? Vacant esteem. What has meaning wasn't authored by me. In the workplace, we code switch. In relationships, we code switch. Tell me I'm lying. Get to your phone. I want to know what you think. Right? I want to know. This is a serious topic tonight. What are you using your relationship for? Right? What is it for? Is it just for leisure? Is it just for enjoyment? You know what we want to do? We want a vacation while we individuate. Yeah. Can we do both? Can we do the real work and then also go to Bali, go to Mexico, can we do them both at the same time? Right? We want to reward ourselves in the middle of the crucible. What is this? I'm trying to tell you, your relationships are like generational crop rotations. Why your relationships deplete your emotional soil. Anxious avoidant trap as a reenactment of plantation soil exhaustion. Right? Giving until barren. How many of y'all can relate to giving until you're barren? Right? Locke's labor theory of value weaponized against marginalized self-worth. Oxytocin receptor gene methylation in post-traumatic slave syndrome lineages, according to Lipton's epigenetics. You don't even know what hoodoo is anymore. You don't know what Ifa is anymore. You don't know how to do the hoodoo soil rituals for neural replanting, sacred dirt as a neurotransmitter metaphor. You don't know what it is anymore. All you know is what is the latest hot restaurant to go to. You know how to take pictures of your food. Right? You're not free within the pattern that birthed you. Right? You came into a broken system. The pattern is integrated into your sense of self. And you think you're free. No, you're not free. You haven't even met you yet. You're a derivative of a broken family, which is derivative of a broken society. So your relationship can only be derivative. And when you don't get listen to what I'm saying. When you don't get what society marked as a benchmark, you're dissatisfied. It's not enough. You got the nerve to say love ain't enough nowadays. That's because you don't know what love is, because you've never climbed all the way up to your crown chakra and opened the wings of the caduceus. You've never done it, so you don't know. You only know what society said is successful. Society with a 50+% divorce rate. Gonna tell you that marriage is the Super Bowl of relationships. What? The freedom tax. Why secure attachment feels like heresy to trauma survivors. Freedom, you say? Sounds like Chicken George. What you gonna do when freedom comes your way? Survivor's guilt, neurobiology. Ventral, right? Stratum inhibition during healthy love. Healthy love looks like the villain in your story. I know I'm on fire tonight. There's a couple of books I want you to get. Glenn R. Schiraldi, Self-Esteem Workbook. Get his workbook, Glenn R. Schiraldi, PhD, Self-Esteem Workbook. Then he has another one, the Adverse Childhood Experiences Recovery Workbook. Heal the hidden wounds from childhood affecting your adult mental and physical health. Let me tell you something. When you have an unhealed child, you're living on a plantation, a psychological one. You're a slave to the reactions that have been conditioned within you. Whenever you hear somebody say you've been conditioned or you're conditioned by your past, what they're saying is you're a slave to the past. But I'm going to say it different. You're a slave to your style. You're a slave to your pattern. When I come forward, the voice of reason will continue cooking.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, sending this one out to my man Killer B. No doubt, indeed. Know what I'm saying? There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. You could run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walking with your head down, scared to look. You shook, cause ain't no such things as halfway crooks. They never around when the beef cooks in my part of town. It's similar to Vietnam. Now we all grown up and old and beyond the cops' control. They better have the riot gear ready, trying to back me and get rock steady. By the one double, I touch you and leave you with not much to go home with. My skin is thick, cause I'll be up in the mix of action. If I'm not at home, puffin' live, relaxing. New York got it depressed, so I wear a slug proof underneath my guest. God bless my soul, before I put my foot down and begin to stroll into the drama I built. And all unfinished beef, you will soon be put us together. It's like mixing vodka and milk. I'm going out blasting, taking my enemies with me. And if not, they scarred so they will never forget me. Lord forgive me, the Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. I'm falling and I can't turn back. Or maybe it's the words from my man Killer Black that I can't say, so it's left an untold fact. Until my death, my goal is to stay alive. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive.
Yo, we live in this till the day that we die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. We live in this till the day that we die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive.
Isn't it strange how nobody will ever see the real you? You see, the idea of being afraid of what others think is pointless if you understand the nature of reality itself. Because here's the truth. People do not see reality as it is. They see it as they are. Their beliefs, experiences, fears, and conditioning act as tinted lenses, shaping everything they perceive. And so when someone looks at you, they do not see you. They see a reflection of their own state of being. Yet we give so much weight to their opinions, forgetting that their judgment is merely a projection of their own world. So ask yourself, are they even seeing clearly? Are they on the frequency you wish to align with? Or are you bending yourself to fit the distortion of their perception?
Alan Watts up here cooking. Can I get you to take relationships more serious? I'm not going to do the don't come out of the house without your hair done topic. I'm not going to do the antler eyelash topics. Sister's eyelashes shouldn't be larger than antlers on a moose. I'm not going to do those topics. I'm going to do the topics that unnerve you, that make you uncomfortable. Because I want to remind you that relationships are supposed to be uncomfortable. Yes, they are. Relationships are not a game. If you came from a tumultuous past, even if it doesn't, listen, even if it wasn't violent or abusive, if you came from a past where your parentage, your primary caregivers were inconsistent with regards to being attuned to your needs, this topic is for you. Quantum, man, fugitivity, entangling your worthiness across space-time. If your lineage felt unworthy, that's how it got into your consciousness. If your lineage has a worthiness wound, that's how it showed up in you. Secure attachment as temporal defiance against trauma chronology. Ainsworth revised. Do you understand? You've been running toward somebody or something to be acknowledged for lifetimes. You have to break that pattern. Do you understand? You have to break that pattern. And when I come forward, the voice of reason will give you an opportunity to do so. The phone lines are open. I see the callers. We gon' cook.
Squalls hit the block hard, ask my man Trent when he got back, they messed me up hard, but things happen for a reason. You find out who's your true keepers when you're up north bleeding. You can't find a shorty to troop your bed with you. Hit with a 2 to 4 is difficult. While on the streets I try to maintain tight grip, my Lucas shorties like to run game. So brothers like to trick, but I ain't no
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The first black mayor of Tulsa, Oklahoma is proposing a reparations plan for descendants of the 1921 race massacre.